All right. First moment of the stream is me wiping my nose. All right. Well, anyway, I've got to get a couple things set up, so there'll be a minute of silence while I get everything in place. All right. Just going. Okay. Blow this up quite a bit. Resize this a little bit more. Sorry, y'all. At least I can share my screen now while I'm rearranging windows. All right, so I didn't stream anything about this project last week. I just did the dot beat doohickey. Oh, I guess I should post on Twitter that I'm streaming right now. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. I'm live on Twitch. I'm continuing work on my Laravel RPG. Join in. Why not? And then all right. And put Discord into streamer mode. I need to really set a keyboard shortcut for that. All right. Okay. So where I left off in this project, a week ago. I had gotten some very basic room generation in place where as the character moved around, it basically automatically created rooms. And if there was a room nearby, it automatically created the doors for it or whatever. Um, and it ended up creating a very boring layout where you just basically end up with a big glom of of rooms stuck together. A lot of rooms that had all 4 exits, rooms with 3 exits. Not like a lot of like hallways. It was just big gloms of rooms, so it was kind of boring. Um, so I wasn't really happy with it. And then last weekend, I think, not on stream, I researched maze generation algorithms, and I kind of puzzled over them for a bit. And then eventually I found on GitHub, I found someone who had made a little PHP maze generator that implemented the algorithm for maze generating. So I didn't really have to do it myself. So and it was MIT licensed, so it was okay for me to jack it. And so I stole, let's see if I can bring it up. I say stole, but they put it out there for people to use. So I stole this generate maze function. And so what it does, it ends up generating a 2-dimensional list of basically rooms, I guess, and then whether or not they have exits in certain directions or whatever. And it does this cool maze algorithm or whatever. I don't know. I don't 100% know how it works. Um, I mean, I could step through it and understand how it works, but I can't just explain off the top of my head. Basically, you just kind of like it picks a room and then it moves in a random direction out of that room. And then it just keeps doing that until it hits a dead end, and then it picks another direction to go in. Something like that. So you end up with basically hallways that all end up kind of interconnected. And so, as an example, just to show this working, I'll create a new character. Just call them all A's. And then I also had to go fix the mini map. But anyway, just to show the maze generation in effect, like this first starting room only has a south exit. We head south, still head south. Now we can head east or we can head south, but let's go all the way south. And now we can go east. We can keep going east, go east again. And now we can go north, can go north, can go north, can go west. And that's a dead end. So now we can go east, south, south again. Now we could go west, north. There's stairs going down, but I haven't talked about that yet. You can go west, north. Okay, another dead end. So there's one room we haven't explored that we can see in this little mini map. I don't know if you can. Let me make this a little bit bigger to make sure that everybody can see it. Okay, so yeah, I got this little mini map. All right, so let's go back east. Let's go south. We got to go east, south, west, 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 north, and now we can go east. All right, so now we've explored every square in this room, and you can see that while not particularly maze-like at this small size, the layout's at least kind of interesting. Like you have to go this way and then go through here or whatever. So once I got this working, the next step was to allow people to go, up and down between floors. And how did I implement that? I'm pretty sure. Do I implement that in here somewhere? No, I think when no, that's not it. It's the floor panel. No, room panel. There we go. Figuring out I'm going to have a little conversation about architecture too in a second too, just to get a lot of stuff off my mind that I've been thinking about. So anyway, as the person's moving around, uh, let's see, C+1 if is null floor. Visited rooms. Okay, all right. So here we go. So if as the player's moving around, every time they hit a room, it does a little check. It counts how many rooms haven't been visited yet. And if there's 4 or less unvisited rooms, so I think each of these rooms at this point, let's say 4. It's a 4x4, which is 4 times 4, 8, 16. 16 rooms. Is it 16? I'm not really good at math. Just to prove that I'm not, let's do 4x4. Okay, 16. All right, it comes out to 16. All right. So after they've explored 12 rooms, then we start then we create a staircase, and then what we do. So first, wow, I'm really just stuttering through this right now. I smoked a little bit before I started the stream. So anyway, 4 rooms. Make sure this first line is just making sure that there's no floor yet. Saying, give me a floor that's below where or I guess above. Technically, the Z numbers go up, but to me, it's down. Anyway, give me Z numbers where. Yeah, this is very interesting. Where am I putting the staircase? It stairs down, right? Let's find this. Let's find the staircase on this floor. I'm pretty sure it was up here somewhere. South, west, north. Stairs down. Okay. Well, anyway, we say stairs down, but really the number's going up. So we make sure that there's not, on this is floor 1, so we make sure there's not a floor 2. And if there isn't a floor, then we pick at random one of the 4 remaining unvisited rooms to put the staircase in. So in some cases, it could pick the room the character's about to go into. So it could be landing in a stairs that was just generated for the character, or it could go in one of the other unvisited rooms. The important thing is we don't put it in a room that the character's already been in, because it doesn't make any sense for there to be a staircase that wasn't there a second ago. I mean, I guess it could. You could say that the staircase formed out of the ether or whatever. But whatever. That's not what I want to do. That's a choice that I made. You could make a different choice. You could pick from all the floors. But that's up to you. So anyway, then we create a new floor. And so when we create a floor, we're assigning the character, the user ID, the Z position, and saving it. That's all that goes into the database. We can look at the database right here. Floors are very simple. They literally just have some dates, the character ID. I wonder if I can make this bigger. There we go. I can make this bigger. That didn't really make the titles any bigger, but whatever. Anyway, so you have some dates, character ID, user ID, the Z level, and then the room ID is meant to be the starting room for that floor, I think. Pretty sure that's what it means. Yeah, it's the first room for that floor. So when you go up or down, that's the floor that you should come into. Because it was important to me to make sure that when you go up and down these stairs, the overall shape of the tower that you're in, is the same size. In the original text, like 10 years ago, I didn't really care about maintaining a consistent shape. So I think as you played the game, like the map could end up winding all over the place, and it didn't really stay in one place. So if we go down from here, you'll see that we stayed in the same basic position. And so now we have a new map. I'll go through it real quick. Just going back and forth the same way. Let's go west, north, west, south, 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 east, 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 north, west, West. Okay, so that was a pretty cool layout. Like it's just one big long hallway that wraps around, just goes around and then comes up and goes down and around. So this maze generator thing works really well. I'm actually very happy with what this looks like. Um, it does in text like you could end up with blank spaces. Oh, hi, Brendan. Is that you? Is that you watching right now? Um, Anyway, in the original text, like 10 years ago, there would be blank spaces, basically areas that you don't have a room in them. So that's a downside of using this maze generator. Oh, thank you, grazie. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, so this has no blank spaces. I could probably build blank spaces into it, but I don't actually really think it needs blank spaces. I think the fact that it's generating like a proper maze kind of design means that I don't need to put random blank spaces in it. It should be fine without it. And then it also makes the number of rooms on a floor very consistent. There's always 16 rooms. So uh, in the old text, like it was somewhat random. I think it was a little bit random that you could have floors that have less rooms. Um, which could mess with leveling because the idea is that as there's enough monsters on the floor to allow you to level up enough to face the monsters on the next floor. So if there's like too few rooms, then you didn't get to fight enough monsters to be powered up enough to fight the monsters on the next floor or whatever. Anyway, so now that I've got all this implemented, I sort of feel like I don't really like what's happening with the code organization in this project. I mean, you just saw, if you've been watching for the last 10 minutes, you just probably saw me kind of fiddle around trying to figure out where the hell the logic for creating the stairs is. Because it doesn't make sense that, to me at least, it doesn't make sense that the logic for creating the next floor exists in the component used for like displaying and navigating around the rooms. At least it's room related. Um, so yeah, this code being over here feels weird. And then in the room model, we have some logic in there, and then in the floor model, we have a ton of logic in the floor model. So I feel like I've got like business logic scattered all over my code base. It just feels real sloppy right now, and I don't like storing business logic in the model. It's just one of those software architecture rules that I've decided I like, so I want to adhere to it to some extent. Which is weird because when it comes to iOS development and Swift development, it feels, I mean, models are classes. Classes should have functions for them in them. So I guess it makes sense to put a bunch of business logic in your models. And maybe that's what I should do. Laravel has this controller paradigm, but I don't entirely understand it. It seems like it's really tightly wedded to the magic that Laravel does about routes when you're dealing with resource models or something like that, where you're just doing CRUD stuff. Um, so yeah, I've just been thinking about like where should what rule should I make for how I want to organize this project? Where should the majority of the code go? Um, so I googled around for like Livewire best practices because I wasn't sure what even the Livewire developer does, and I read several comments from people saying that they don't use controllers at all. And they actually write almost all their code in their Livewire components, which is what I did over here. I wrote a bunch of business logic right into this room panel component, and Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like it. So I think maybe I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with putting more business logic in the models for now. Um, trying to figure out how I would do that with some of this code right here. So I'm gonna do a little coding. I'll try to think out loud, or after I do something, I'll try to describe what I'm doing. Um, so I guess up, right now, this is the offending code block. This is the thing that I'm really upset about. I don't think floor map. Yeah, floor map. Look, almost no code in there. Character panel, no code in there. Character list, a little bit of code in there, but we could. I don't know. We can do something with that. We can figure something out. I mean, this isn't very much code. It's not really business logic. It is creating all new character or whatever, but it makes sense for this code to be in here, I feel. So maybe that's a mistake. I don't know. So yeah, I think just this floor logic is what upsets me. So let's move this over into the floor model, and see unvisited rooms for. I guess let's call it. First up, I want to do a little. Call a stair. No, we're gonna go down further. Let's go down under under here. Okay. Stair generation. All right, we're gonna want to call this public function. Should probably move this over a little bit. Now that I'm coding all the way down here, I think I had my setup. My screen setup was a little bit different the other day. I think I had the code about here. Let's make it bigger. All right. Anyway, public function, generate stair if needed. Why not? All right, and then what do we need? Let's just copy. Let's copy all of this. All right. And then actually probably want to keep this conditional out here. Let's keep that conditional out there, because that conditional next room visited, next room save. What's it doing with? Okay, I'm gonna do this again. Here we go. This is what I want to take out. There we go. Oops. So let's replace the content of this new function. Still going to need some data in there. I'm going to have to refactoring is not a fun thing to do sometimes when you just want to relax and not have to think too deeply about various decisions. So you know what? Maybe I don't know. Do I need to do this right now? Is it necessary to do this right now? No, it's probably not. Probably isn't necessary to do this right now. Okay, so let's go just do something fun. Let's undo all this. Let's undo everything. Let's pretend that this never happened here. There's probably an easier way to do this. Let's oh, look, there's discard all. All right. So if we go look at the project on GitHub, Download to alpha. I need to bring this up in a window. I can edit it in. Hold on a second. All right. So in our to-do list, I had items marked as in progress, which is interesting because I didn't actually work on items at all. And then over here, I had adventuring, traveling between rooms. I guess I felt like I had finished that, but I did not. So, or I hadn't. Did I? I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, we we did this traveling. Let's call this floor and room generation, or we'll call it floor generation because room generation isn't actually 100% finished. Floor generation, and we even fancy with fancy maze generator. Gotta give ourselves a little pat on the back when we can. All right, so I'm gonna put that over and done. I feel like our floor generation is done, which is pretty cool. So it would be cool if we could just like move on to fighting enemies, but in order to fight an enemy, you really need a weapon. So we probably need to start implementing items. I wanted to try to make items fancy, and just have like one item table and then have different types of items. I mean, I guess I could still do that. Could I? I need something that I can use to like mind map when I'm on stream or something, because I feel like different when I'm supposed to just talk out loud continuously. It's hard to like think about stuff. Talking out loud can be hard. Um, Thinking out loud can be hard. I wonder how chess used to work in the old text like too. Let's bring up text like. Oop, text like. Anyway, I'll close this window because we know we're going to do items next. So let's look at the database for the old text like. I'm sure there was a table for chess. High scores, items. Oh, there's a kind. Maybe that was just for some sort of like generic item. Structures. There you go. Tomes, weapons. I didn't see an armors table. Oh, armors. Weapons table, armors, weapons. Okay, all right. What about chess? Was the chest a structure? Let's go check it out. Maybe it's in here. Generate chest. Chest was a structure. All right. Chest. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, we'll start with chest then. I don't know if I want to call it structures because it doesn't seem like I probably used it for anything else. I wonder if there's an easy way to like search the code base for. Can we search in this repo? Oh, well, repo hasn't been Did I ever download text like locally? There we go. Let's just see where structures was used. Generate and place a chest, generate a chest, generate a chest. Delete it when you open a chest. Okay, so yeah, I didn't use structures for anything else, so we can just name it chess. All right, so now we do the fun game of, do we remember how to create new classes in Laravel? So let me make this big again. All right, sail artisan. Let's just look at all the artisan commands again, because it's like make model, something like that. All right, I had to yell at Dan. He's not watching me. Need to get that average viewers up to 2. Anyway, all right, make model, sail, artisan, help, make model. Just look at all the options again, help jog our memory. Okay, so artisan, make model, and the model is going to be chest. And we do want a factory. We do want a migration. And we don't need a seeder. Did I already close text like I did? Anyway, just okay. Create the chest table. Create the factory. All right, so let's bring up that migration. Created chest. Okay, chest. Generate chest table. All right, so we were at timestamps. We don't need type. We do need name. So table. I don't remember the syntax for this, so let's just go look at one of the other. Room table. There we go. Integer. Character. Oh, string name. All right, so let's back up. Name. And we do need like character ID and all that. And grab that out of here. Do user ID and character ID. Oops. And that's all we really need. We're going to end up deleting the chests whenever they're opened. So we don't really need like, is deleted or, we're not doing soft deleting for anything because this isn't the kind of project that you need soft deleting for. If someone opens a chest, they're not going to unopen it. We don't have undo. We need a room. We need a room ID. So let's go back to a place where we use a room. We'll do this. There you go. Foreign room ID references ID on rooms. Pretty sure I should be able to just do this. Foreign ID, room ID, constrained. That should work. Constrained. That's not. There we go. Constrained. That's what we want. Okay. And I don't actually need to do anything with the factory for this. So, all right, let's just see if this works. Sale, artisan, make. Does it make migrate? No. It's migrate, refresh, seed. Cool. And now let's see if the table exists. Chest table. There we go. That looks good. Got the foreign key set up, not nulls. Okay, looks pretty good so far. I do need to put like an index on room ID. We probably don't actually even need character ID and user ID because of room ID, but where's Geraldine? Oh, yeah. Who knows where Geraldine is? You know, she's probably out getting drunk, you know, as young people do. But at least now I have 2 viewers. 2 viewers is very important. Don't I need like an average of 3 viewers or something to be able to become a partner or whatever? Well, and then like 50 followers or something insane. Never get there. Anyway, so now we have a place to store chests. When we generate them, we just need to generate a chest. So uh, we need to decide where we're going to generate a chest. You know, so far it seems like I'm kind of doing like a whole upfront floor generation thing. You know, instead of generating it room by room, I'm generating the whole floor at once. So when I generate the entire floor, should I also generate the chests for that floor at the same time? Actually, let's back up a second. Before we make that decision, in the original text, like when you first loaded in, it gave you a special chest that was full of at least one, um, one weapon, one armor, and I think maybe some healing stuff. Let's see if we can find that real quick. It's a random chest. Where's the special chest? Did we create the first room? It was called like a glowing chest, or I wonder where do you open a chest? Where's the code for that? Item functions. Oh, look, open chest type 1. So there was a type uh, column that I ignored. Whoops. Let's go find that again. Oh, type integer. Whoops. Okay, so let's go back to the create chest table. So we need to type table. I'm gonna, instead of an integer, I'm gonna use a string because it's just easier for me to just type in a string instead of string type. All right. Okay. So let's redo that. Fresh seed. Going to characters. I should have no characters. Look at the table again. I got a snappy chat. Oh, Brendan must have left. Someone left. Wow. It's a great Snapchat. Anywho, now there's a type in there. All right, okay. So that's how the special chest thing worked. Was just I set a special type. So let's go create a chest in the first room that we land in. And now, classic architecture question: where does that happen? Doesn't happen there. Does it happen in the view somewhere? Where's the web view? Let's see. Play ID. If is null, room, create floor. Okay, there we go. Generating the floor. Generating the first room. 0, 0, 1. Oh, maybe we should put it in the floor generate function. Generate. So if Z is 1, so we're going to do a little quick refactor here. We're going to say entry room equals that. And then, because we're going to want to do something special to entry room. All right, I want to create, we want to say if Z equals 1, then we want to create a chest. So we're going to do chest, new chest equals new chest. Did that do the import right? I didn't have to import chest. It's already imported. Guess so. All right. New chest. We need a room ID, right? Right. ID. New chest character ID equals this character ID. New chest user ID equals this user ID. We don't put the floor in there, and then new chest type equals it's entry because it's the entry chest. And that's all we need, right? Oh, we need the name. We need the name. New chest name equals gilded. No, not gilded like that. Gilded chest, right? Gilded like that means gold, right? Something like that. Gilded, covered thinly with gold leaf or gold paint. Well, so it looks chintzy. It's a chintzy looking chest. All right, and then new chest, save. This reminds me of something that I actually really need to do. I'm gonna put it to do. Create and save rooms in a transaction. Okay, because right now I'm pretty sure, based on my understanding of Laravel and Eloquent at the moment, is that every time I call save, it's issuing a SQL statement. Be a lot better if there was support for something like transactions. I don't know if MySQL actually supports transactions. MySQL transaction. Oh, looks like it does. Okay, so yeah, if I could put them all in a transaction, that would be a lot more efficient because then I could create them all at once. In theory, sort of. It's kind of how that works with transactions. Basically, like rolling up all of your edits into just one blah, at the database and stuff going blah 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 blah. You know, you just do it all in one go. I don't know how else to explain that. But I put a to do in there so that I could do it later. I wanted to do it, but I forgot about it. And now we're doing something else. So that's it. All right. So now in theory, when we create a new character, there should be, it's not going to show up, but it should be in the database. There we go. Look, Gilded Chest, entry type. All right. So now we just need to show the chest in the room. So I feel like we need to update our room model because call these properties. I don't know if they're actually called properties. Class methods. All right. Public function chess. Call it chess. And it should be this. Return this has mini chest class. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but we'll find out right now. We'll go back to our. Do we need room panel? No, I don't think we need room panel. We need the actual room panel, room description. Just to see, we'll do for each room chess. I always forget the PHP for each syntax. For each blahs as blah. Okay. As chest. And for each, we'll just do chest name. Gilded Chest. Okay, so we've got the chest. We need to like eager load this somehow. I wonder if there's actually a way to do that. All right. Oh, you're doing like a where when we're fetching the room. So where does that come from? Okay, we're like loading it through a relationship. So uh, so what sucks or what's complicating things right now is I want to optimize the way that it's loading these relationships because so for example right now what's happening is it's like we're loading the character and then we're loading the room and then in the room we're loading the chess, so that's 3 SQL select statements that are all kind of going off in a row, and ideally we could condense it into one because they're all related. So if we could create one SQL select statement that says give me the character, give me the room that the character's in, and then give me any chests that are in that room, you could do all that in one select statement, so you don't have to do the 3 separate select statements. It's all about reducing database load. But because I'm doing this the lazy way and just loading it by doing like, oh, character, load the room through the relationships, I can't actually do, I can't, at least as far as I can tell right now, looking at the docs, I can't like easily say like, you should always, oh, check this out. So, my complaining was already It says preventing lazy loading. So I could just outright prevent lazy loading and force it to always load everything all the time. Oh no, this actually just throws an error if I do try to do lazy loading. So let's just test this out just to see how this works. So if I if I go to character and I put this in here, it's mad about it. Is that really how it's supposed to work? Well, anyway, we don't want to do this anyway. So anyway, we'll have on other streams sometime. We'll talk about optimizing this. So again, it'll be something I don't worry about for now, but it's something that we do need to worry about eventually. All right, so get that in its own little div. All right. I don't remember how TextLight displayed all this stuff. All room stuff below here. Load room, load enemy, load chests. Well. Oh, is Nico there? Oh, no, you're just saying it to the person who's viewing. Anyway, current room load chests. Well, how did this work? Oh, it loaded. Oh, this function like loads the actual text itself. Oh, I see. Okay, so we'll try to set this up. Let's say and then we'll do button, wire, click, open chest, chest ID. Assuming that's what we want to do. What do I say? Open it. See what that looks like. There's a gilded chest here. Open it. All right, so I wonder if there's a way I can just what's the difference between the CSS in public and the CSS not in public? Is this the generated one? Oh, certainly looks that way. Okay, so what if I do actually gonna work? No. Oh, because it's not class. Ha. No, still doesn't work. Yeah, how in Tailwind do I just say style all the buttons? You know, when something becomes impossible. Yeah, do I really have to do it in here? I don't think I would have to do it in here. That doesn't make any sense. Guess I'll do some Googling. Tailwind, CS style, button, Laravel. You know, well, I mean, there must be a way to just resources, JS, app.js, app.cs. Yeah, so this is where this is supposed to happen. I don't see. I don't see any evidence that my blue is even in there anywhere. Anyway, what if I do? No, we're gonna figure this one out. Okay, style all of a selector. How about that? Adding custom styles. No, this isn't. Okay, so I mean, this isn't a fault of right now. This isn't Tailwind's fault. This is Laravel's fault for using the rendered CSS file. Because I bet if I look at the CSS for this, that there you go, app.css. Yeah, it's not going to have it's not going to have my stuff in here. So let's see, Laravel, stop using public app CSS. Okay, maybe I just need to stop it and start it over again. Nope. I think I have to do this. Nope. What is it? It's like run dev. Theory, this should be rebuilding my CSS file, which sounds stupid. There we go. Background color is blue now. So that's annoying, but for now we'll do with it. I'm sure there's a better answer somewhere on how to make sure that maybe if I do npm, didn't someone up here say run watch or something? Someone said something. That's stupid. Whatever. Oh, npm. So sail, run, watch. Oh, sail, npm, run, watch. There we go. Okay, so now in theory, first let's see that. Okay, there we go. And then every time I save now, it'll automatically rebuild the CSS file. It's a little silly that I have to like run two different things at the same time, but when it comes to web development, everything that was complicated has to become both more complicated and less complicated at the same time as time goes on. Maybe the rule of the internet. Anyway, let's get rid of that red background. My head hurts a little bit. I'm gonna have to go grab some Advil. All right, so now we hit open it, and then it's gonna error because we haven't created this open chest method in the room panel. All right, so public function open chest, and it takes an ID, chest ID. First up, we want to get the chest. Do this chest equals. Oh, my whole computer just froze for a second there. That was dramatic. Never seen that happen before. Anyway, so chest, not like query. Now room, where. Isn't there like a shorthand? Isn't there a shorthand for this? Find one. Oh, there we go. Find ID. We find or fail. All right, I'm gonna grab some Advil. I'll be right back. All right, I've returned. All right, so we're writing our function for opening a chest. And when you open a chest, a bunch of items need to fall out of it. And we don't yet have a method or we don't have items yet. We have nothing. We don't have anything. So at a bare minimum, we need to, get some weapons in there. And yeah. Yeah, my head is killing me tonight. Got a headache. It's making life hard. All right, so we've got the chest, and then we need to do a little if statement. We could do a switch, but we'll just do an if. If chest type. What's our special chest named? Entry. Then we do whatever fancy stuff we need to do in there. Do basic chest things. And then up here, we're gonna. It's a neat project, but you shouldn't be staring at a screen when you have a headache. Well, I always stare at a screen. It doesn't matter whether I have a headache or not. But I also just always have a headache almost. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for the concern. Maybe I'll stop the stream early tonight. Do special chest things. All right, so we need another model. Sale, artisan, and we're gonna call this one. Let's call it weapon. And we need the migration, right? Isn't it -m? And we don't really need the factory. I think m, right? So we need. All right, create weapons table. All right, so let's go look back at old text like from 10 years ago. Look at the database again. Weapons table. Oh, got a mob ID in case it's being held by a mob. That's interesting. It's funny that it says not null, but it actually can be null. Quality, material, damage level, short name, why PHP? Just because I built. So this is like just a for fun rebuild of a project, like the first kind of coding project that I ever did 10 years ago, which I built with PHP, mainly because that's just kind of what I knew because I'd been running blogs my whole life. And so when B2 and what it wasn't WordPress, like Cafe Press or something. Anyway, WordPress caught on. I started using WordPress, and then building WordPress templates made me learn a little bit of PHP. And so then I built TextLike in PHP, and then my first professional coding project I built in PHP. And then it wasn't until many, many, many years later that I learned iOS development, and then professionally I worked full time in Python. Um, But what really pushed me to kind of go for PHP on building this project and for I think future stuff I'm going to build. Yeah. And WordPress is horrible now. I hate it, but whatever. It's because I know how to actually program now. I think that's why I hate WordPress. And then I'm also not freelance, so I don't actually have any reason to ever use WordPress. I'm sure if I was like freelancing websites for people, maybe I would use WordPress. Anyway, blah blah blah. But what inspired me to start streaming and work on this project was a game called Melvor Idol. and it's an idle game. And when I looked in the code, I saw that it was just using PHP, and it wasn't actually built with React, which excited me because I have a stubborn desire to not ever learn React. Like I feel kind of proudly that I'm like a backend developer who hasn't ever really had to deal with JavaScript. I don't know why I'm being stubborn about learning React. Because hell, like building something like this fully client side in React would probably be pretty easy. There's really no need to have a backend database for like an entirely like local game like this because it's not an MMO or whatever. But anyway, when I saw Melvor Idol was built entirely with PHP and a little bit of JavaScript and stuff, I was like, oh, like maybe I should look into PHP. And then over the last couple of years, I've always heard people say that Laravel is really awesome. It's a great way to like build backends and yada yada. Preact, what's Preact? Ooh, React alternative. Interesting. So it's still like components and all that sort of stuff though. But anyway, yeah. So state and all that stuff. That's kind of all not not out of my league, but it's just not something that I've ever learned before. Anyway, heard a lot of good stuff about Laravel. Started to look into Laravel, and then I saw Laravel Livewire, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds kind of cool." It's like faking a single page app, so maybe I'll look into all this. And so far, Laravel's definitely won me over. Like maybe it's not right for what I'm building right now, um, but it's the best way that I can describe Laravel is like signing on at a new company as a software engineer, and they have a meticulously crafted local development environment. It feels like kind of what I experienced when I got my first developer job, and I like real developer job, and saw Docker for the first time and like spun up my local dev environment with Docker and didn't really have to worry about setting up anything at all. And then the project that I joined in already had like a really good architecture in place with some like just good code organization. And Laravel feels like when you load up a new project and deal with some of just building a basic CRUD app with it, it just feels really nice. It just feels like you don't spend a lot of your time tearing your hair out over little things. So I don't know. It just felt a lot easier to get going. Yeah, yeah. I would say Laravel feels, yeah. Laravel's similar to Django, but it feels like it's even simpler and more straightforward and magical. I say straightforward, and anyway, yeah, it's all real magical. Does a lot of the work for you, yada yada. And then Livewire is really cool. Just that it like fakes this SPA stuff and like does all these little like it's like creating little micro endpoints while you're using the site. So like as I'm in this, let's go back. Like in this, as I'm moving around, it's doing all these little network requests. Oops. To XHR. So yeah, as we're moving around, it's like doing these network requests to these little endpoints, and they're giving back all the HTML for each of these components. So it's a little weird, but so far it seems like it works really well. I think it's got all the same drawbacks that something like this normally would have, and maybe the hands of someone, less experienced, like a newbie, could probably hurt themselves. Well, not hurt themselves, but it makes it very easy to write code that's going to make 100 bajillion database requests, and that really bugs the crap out of me. I really don't like that. Um, so yeah, I already feel like I'm building something that's really inefficient, and I think I'm gonna have to like jump through some hoops to make it more efficient and feel better, in my opinion. But I can't just, it's just like a PHP developer. The stereotypical PHP developer is probably not supposed to be smart enough to be aware of the wrong things that they're doing as they're doing them. Not to talk shit on this, and by stereotypical PHP developer, I mean, like the drooling, barely a programmer type stereotype that people like to use to bash on PHP. Um, so yeah, when I get around to actually trying to make this more efficient, maybe I'll like Laravel a lot less. I don't know. Um, but I do find myself already kind of fantasizing about making other projects using Laravel. Like I kind of want to reboot one of my other original projects using Laravel because it just seems like it would be really fun and easy to build it out. All right. Anyway, so we got chests. I just created the migration for weapons. I need to create. It has a bunch of stuff in here. So let's do table string name. Oh, we're gonna need all that character ID stuff again. Might as well go grab it from that other table. Yeah, but in a room ID, yeah. These need to be nullable. Does this work? Trying to figure out how did I keep track of the inventory? Functions, maybe it's under item functions. Generate a weapon. Okay, they've got like a created for thing. Oh, someone wrote an issue here. I think I was already doing this before. Put nullable before the constraint. Okay. All right, so now I have like kind of a new problem where I want to keep track of the fact that it was created for a character versus being possessed by a character. I wonder if there's a different way that I should do that. Like maybe I should use an intermediary table to keep track of um, objects in an inventory. That kind of maybe I should just do. I could do like character inventory ID or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just do something like that. So let's go back to let's go to the room. Steal some of this code. Room ID. We're gonna redo that one too. We're gonna do both of these manually. We're gonna do in room ID, and then and character inventory ID. And maybe we'll do in character ID. And we really should maybe set up like a database level constraint that says like if room ID is not null, then, or if, yeah, room ID is not null, then character ID must be null. So I'm gonna get rid of room ID here. Okay. All right, so let's go back to looking at the database. Old database. All right. Oh yeah, there can also be a it could also belong to a mob. Call mobs NPCs. This doesn't exist yet though. So I'm gonna comment that out. All right, anyway. Name, table, string, short name. Because it seems like we have that too. Short name. And then we have table, integer. Integer. Quality, material, level, material, set level, damage, durability, and weight. It's weird. It says, oh, name. Okay, so damage. Weight. And we need total durability and durability. Do max durability. Looks like that's everything. Why does that file name start with a date and time? So that the migrations can be run in order. So this is this folder is full of the different database migrations. And so when you rerun like a fresh migration or you start up a new data, or I guess I can just show you really quick. If I run this command, sail artisan migrate refresh seed, this will wipe out the entire database. Oh, it does. I don't want to do refresh. I want to do fresh. What happened in refresh is it ran the migrations backwards. Anyway, so from here on, what happened is it completely wiped out the database, and then each of these migrations ends up creating tables and maybe modifying existing ones. So it just runs them all in order, and it ends up creating the whole database from scratch. And then the seed option automatically creates a user. I've got it set up. This database seeder file. And I could use the seeder file to create. For a while, I had it automatically creating a bunch of characters, but I've turned all that off. So, one thing I don't like about, I don't know what your background is, but in my professional day to day life, I write Flask or Python in Flask, and I use Alembic, so I can write my model classes, and then I can tell Alembic to create a new migration, and Alembic goes and looks at my models and compares them to my database and creates any tables or columns or handles a lot of different changes, and creates the migration file automatically for me, which is super nice because I can just write my model. Yeah, no, this isn't doing that, which is annoying because I would much rather be over here in my weapon model, and I would like to be in here and be writing like public var, room ID, or whatever. But instead, Laravel has me write the database migrations. And so unless I go in and manually fill in my model, I don't actually have like a single source of truth for what my database looks like, aside from going and looking in the database itself, which is it just feels so PHP like to have your single source of truth actually be the database itself that you end up creating after you run all your migrations. It feels so wrong that I assume maybe there's something I don't know about Laravel. Uh, and maybe there is a way to write the model and not the migration, but the Laravel from scratch tutorial that I followed on Laracast had it be, you were doing it this way. You were writing the migration. You weren't really putting anything in the model. Um, so I don't know. As far as I know, this is the way you're supposed to do it. Um, I don't really like it, but I'm going with it. It's when in Rome, when in Rome, I guess. Um, so anyway, I created this weapon object. Let's see if this table looks good. Those are all not null. That's good. Character not null user ID. Okay. Anyway, so now that we've got a weapons table, we can go back to our open chest function. And again, it feels disgusting that I'm writing all this business logic into a single component, but maybe someday off stream, I'll go through and try to figure out where it actually makes sense to put this in. I don't feel like I can do refactoring on stream. It just kind of makes me clam up. I don't know how to think out loud with something so abstract as like trying to make decisions about where to refactor things to. So I'm just going to write sloppy code on stream and then maybe clean it up off stream and then write about maybe how I cleaned it up so that there's some record of it. I'm All right. So anyway, we know it's a special chest. So when we're opening the special chest, we want to create a couple weapons and stick them in the room. So um, I don't know. Let's create a weapon. We'll do. How do you do a for loop? For loop in Python with a number. Nope. For loop PHP. All right. I was thinking about Python. Simple. For I equals 1, I less than or equal to 4, 3. New weapon. New weapon. All right, new weapon. Do the easy stuff first. Character ID equals chest character ID. New weapon user ID equals user ID. New weapon room ID equals chest room ID because the chest is in a room, right? Chest room ID user ID. Okay, so it's got all that. And then and this is all stuff that needs to go in some sort of we'll say to do refactor out into weapon generator because that's what we really need to do. Maybe we'll do that now. New weapon generate. Let's do the generate function needs to know like what level to generate thing for in the chest. The chest doesn't have a level assigned to it. Maybe the chest should have a level assigned to it. For now, we'll just hack it. So we don't really need to put a 2D there. Eventually, we'll figure this out because right now we're not placing chests in random rooms just yet. So we'll worry about that. New weapon generate and then new weapon save. Another thing we would prefer to wrap in a transaction. And then I feel like we need to emit something. We need to let the other parts of the application know that this chest was opened and you need to possibly maybe refresh the room, something like that. So we use emit somewhere else. I think maybe up here. Oh, right here. Emit room changed. All right, so down here after we're done doing the chest things, we want to emit. But for now, we'll just say chest opened. And we don't need to send any variables. We just need to say chest opened. And then we want to go over into probably our room panel. Maybe not. Should we go in here? We're already in the room panel. Okay, we need to go to the... Yeah, where's this listener for change room? No, that's not it. It's room change. There we go. All right, so we need a listener for the room panel. And it needs to listen for... Oh, hey, we're already in the thing. Okay, all right, okay. So really what we need to do is we don't need to emit anything. We just need to say this room, and refresh. Let's refresh. Because what we want to do is we want to get the room object from the database again so that we can reload the relationships from it. Room doesn't have any relationships for chests on it yet, but not chests. Yeah, we need to refresh chests, and we also need to public function weapons. Return this has many weapon class. Okay. I'm gonna try to get everything wired up before before we can pull the trigger. All right. And then, oh, we need to delete this chest too. Chest, delete. I think that's how it works. And got that there. Let's go back to this. Let's do div for each room weapons as weapon, and for each I'll just say there is a weapon name here and do something. We're not going to wire this up yet because it's not going to work yet. Okay, as many. Okay, so we need to create this generate function. Public function generate level. All right. Let's go back over to the text-like code real quick. Just because it'll make life easier. We just have a little blueprint to follow. First up, it looks like it randomizes the level a little bit. So we'll do or follow this lead. Can't go below 0 though. So if start writing some real bad. No, let's write a ternary. How about now? Ternary? I don't know what it's called. Level less than 1, then 1 or level. Maybe it's this. No, PHP ternary. Condition less than 1, then 1. Okay, so this is right. Oh, it's because I'm missing a semicolon. Good old PHP. Okay. All right. And it does some other stuff to do randomization. Or let's not even worry about this randomization right now up here. Got bigger fish to fry. Calculate initial damage. I'll just steal whatever this is doing. This damage equals 20 plus level minus 1 times 1.5. That looks weird, but we're just gonna go with it. Weight this weight. Yeah, writing semicolon, having to write semicolons, it just makes me grumpy. And then in my day job, I go and write Python, and for the first part of the day, I keep writing semicolons that I have to erase. It's tough. should be max durability equals 45 plus level minus 1 times 1. I wonder how I came up with all this. I remember when I was originally making text like 10 years ago, I like created a spreadsheet and mapped out how the levels and all this stuff would work. I might have to do that again at some point, but for right now, I'm just kind of like going with my old code or just flubbing it. It doesn't really matter. Right now I'm just trying to get things working. If I get systems in place, then I can worry about making them fancy. So this material, we'll just say 1 for now. This quality. And then this durability equals this max durability. Randomly select kind of weapon. Just gonna steal this code right out of here. Why not? Quality name. Oh yeah, I do all this stuff up here. Well, for now we'll just say copper, and then that's material. Hard. Unbalanced. All right. All right. So this name equals weapon name, and this short name equals weapon kind. All right, I think we've done everything we need to be able to actually open a chest. Let's see what happens. I need to create a character. Play. Oh, we already broke something. I did mean to reference in-room ID. There we go. All right, let's open the chest. Okay, something else broke. Oh, it's supposed to be in-room ID. All right. Room panel. There we go. All right, let's try opening it again. Oh, broke again. Null value and level. Oh, whoops. All right. Try it again. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Well, we've got 3 weapons sitting in the room. So we're 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 almost very slowly getting to be on the way to actually doing something with these weapons. So now we need 2 more things. We need to be able to pick up a weapon and put it in our inventory, and then we need to be able to equip the weapon. And then we also need armors. And yeah, we're starting to get into the grunt work, of the project. So now the question is, do I do picking up weapons and equipping them, or do I also do armor generation right now? Um, what do I do next? Or do I wrap up the stream for the night because my head hurts? I don't know. I don't know what to do. Definitely feel like we're getting into the grunt work part of the project, where it's just creating a bunch of different models, getting all the database stuff wired up. Um, let's go for picking up a weapon, I guess. This is where it would have been nicer already to have some sort of unified um, item setup. Because like having a different function for pickup weapon, a different function for pickup armor, and all that just seems like an awful lot of different functions for stuff. But I guess that's all right. Come back in here. We're going to copy this button code. So we're going to use the same thing here. I think in the old text, like it didn't use. Where is it? Load chest, load weapons. There's in the pile. All right, so the weapon display was the name of the weapon was the button. Fetch weapon, and we'll do weapon ID. All right, and then we're gonna need to eventually do this weapon stats thing. Because it should be displaying damage, this durability, and weight. Oh, no, I was using this when I should have been using weapon. All right, so showing the stats, they're not color coded yet, but that's fine. And then let's get some of the fancy text writing in place because it just looks better. So how did we do this before? This for each should have access to that loop thing, right? Blade directive for each. I guess I could just do a count, can't I? Oh, I don't think it has the loop. Oh, it does say if loop first, if loop last. That's cool. It's not actually really what I need. I just need a count. So I need to write some PHP. Where do I do that? Oh, there we go. Add PHP. So really, I feel like this is another situation where I'm doing like PHP type stuff, where I'm about to write some like view specific business logic right into the view itself. It feels kind of icky. Um, but it's the most natural place for me to do it. I'll be right back. I gotta run to the bathroom. All right, I am back. All right, so the last thing I want to do before I call it quits on account of my headache is just to get this writing out properly as a string, because text like was meant to be all text. You know, it should say something like in a pile on the floor, you see a golden axe thing, and then the stats, and then each one, with commas in between them and stuff like that. So we'll simplify this. And we do have that loop directive. So we need like loop iteration count first, last. Let's say if loop is not last, then we want to throw a comma afterwards, right? Something like that. If loop is last, and if throw a comma in there. I wonder if that's actually going to work. Oh no, if loop is not last, throw a comma in there. Okay, so now we've got a comma. It's got a space, which I'm not happy about. Wonder if there's a way to get rid of that. Try with the ternary operator. Hey, that's actually a good idea. Loop last. Then I want to write a comma. And then if not, I don't want to write a comma. Cool. So I've got commas. So now I just need like the intro statement and the outro statement. Wonder if it's like that just for one line PHP. I don't know. Can I do this? Okay, there we go. So I do have weapon count. Probably didn't have to do it that way, but basically, yeah, I've kind of noticed. I've noticed that in the code base at my company with their React code base. I'm going to do it again. So we're going to do weapon count. If it's greater than 2, then we're going to say, it says greater than or equal to 3. We'll say in a pile on the floor, you see this is going to have a space though, isn't it? There you go. We're getting closer. There's no space there, which is nice. And then after this for each, we want oh, damn it. This first one, there's really just 2 options. So the ternary works fine there. But this next one, there's 3 different options. I don't know if I really want to do like a super nested ternary, but I could. Um, so in this case, it just needs to be a period. Got our period. It's got a space though, so let's go back to this. Wait, can you really just do this? Oh, that does work. No, there's still a space there. Well, already goes to show why it's better to just build everything out of code. Or build everything in code. So let's do that. Intro string equals and then oh, but I want the wire click in there. Oh, how annoying. How okay. This is there's gotta be a way to figure it out without the white space. What? Wow. Oh wow. Wow, you gotta write some interesting code to that's I wish I could just write a barf emoji under that. Um, yeah, this person did what I feel like I probably need to do, where I just need to use PHP or dip into PHP. Unless I can just fucking put this here and wow, how stupid. I picked a good night to have a headache. Just to have to deal with this. Just this nonsense. It's just gross that they're just echoing. They're just literally they're just like, oh, let's just nope out of Blade and just write some PHP. I don't know if I can do this because I need this wire click thing in there. That's the problem. That's why I'm So I'm going back and forth. Extra white space. There's got to be a way. Apparently not. Did this ever get added? Man, it's weird. Wow. So it just seems like there isn't a way for me to avoid this little extra space before the period. I mean, there is, but, or I mean, there might be, but I don't know if it's even gonna work. So right now, I'm just gonna choose not to worry about it, um, which is stupid. And then here I'm gonna write another weapon count greater than or equal to 2. Then on the floor. There we go. We got a double layered ternary. All right, so in the file on the floor, you see that. And then just for examples, we're going to go in here and we're going to delete some of these weapons just so we can see the other ones work. All right, so I'm going to delete this one. Refresh. There's an unbalanced and. Oh, there should be an and in there. I wonder if I actually worry about that. Doesn't look like I worry about that, but I can worry about that now because I've got this loop thing. So I'll do if loop Let's see if this works. And there we go. Look at that. There's an unbalanced copper axe and a unbalanced copper axe on the floor. And then if we delete this one, there's oops. And loop. Where is that loop? Loop count greater than 1. There we go. There's an unbalanced copper axe laying on the floor. All right, and then just to see it working, we'll wait again. Play. There's a Gilded Chest here. Open it. Now in a pile on the floor, you see an unbalanced copper axe, and a unbalanced copper axe, and space before the period, which is annoying, but we'll worry about that later. I could probably actually do all that in here. I'll have to think about that later. But anyway, right now you can't do anything with them. But at least you can go and open a chest. I'm going to get rid of this room XY. All right, so I think I'm going to end the stream a little bit early, but to just as a little recap of what has been accomplished today. When you load up a new character, hello, I'm a new character. When you load up a new character, got a little bug here. I really need to wrap all this in an if. So something like if it's greater than 0, and then end if. Okay, fix that bug. All right, so now to recap, when you land on a brand new floor as a brand new character, a Gilded Chest is inserted into the room. You can click open it, and it will populate the room with whatever items are inside. Right now, the only items that exist are weapons, and so it's just throwing 3 weapons into the room. And then we worked on we implemented a little bespoke sentence structure for the weapons. So you have in a pile on the floor, you see a blah, blah, and a blah, and that changes depending on how many weapons are available to show into the room. So Wednesday, I think Wednesday I'll probably get armor implemented, and then I will implement being able to pick up the weapon and armor, and hopefully, 3 hours is a pretty long time, so I think I'll be able to also implement like equipping them. And once we have a weapon and armor equipped, we can start thinking about putting monsters in the room. So maybe by Friday, we'll be able to start putting monsters in the room and start working on maybe an attack mode. So I don't know if that's too optimistic, but I think it'll be okay. I think by Friday we'll be able to start trying to like take a whack at an enemy that's hanging out in the room. All right, so before I wrap up tonight, let's get this committed. I should have probably done more commits as the night went on, but it doesn't really matter. Create chests and weapons and get them into rooms. Basically what we did. And push that out to the repo. And that's it. That's it for the night. So thank you. Draws with Kitties. Thank you for watching the stream. If you want to follow, I appreciate it. I'm planning on streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. Always up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Um, so Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. That's when I'll be streaming. I might stream on the weekends, but I'm kind of thinking no at this point. I feel like 9 hours, 9 hours a week is enough. Oh, where's my voice going? Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully, I'll see you again on Wednesday or Friday. Have a good night. Thank you very much.